Set in Japan in the 1600s, the film begins by showing a samurai named Gesai who is in the middle of thousands of corpses strewn after the Sekigahara War. Where Gesai was a leader of the army defending Tokugawa Ieyasu's power, Gesai looks very sad because it turns out that his proud son also died that day. Beside Gesai stands a priest named Tenkai. The priest said that even though Tokugawa won, this war would still leave suffering for the people. The priest also said it was time to end this era of war, so that the people could live in peace in a peaceful country. It is known here that 3 warlords, namely Nagamasa Asano, Kiyomasa Kato, and Sanada Masayuki, were very ambitious to take over the country, and they would never stop fighting until their goals were achieved. This is where the priest finally advised Gesai to train a group of people to kill these leaders, because otherwise they would continue to fight for their ambition to control the country. A few days later, Gesai was seen gathering 10 children who were victims of war, who were orphans and had lost their families. These children were then trained to become tough fighters and experts in using swords. Now the 10 children have become teenagers and look strong. They were raised in a remote valley called the Valley of Mist. Among them there is one girl named Azumi, who is the best of her 9 friends. Azumi is known to be very fast, and this is acknowledged by her friends. While eating, their teacher suddenly said that it was time for them to go down the mountain to carry out a mission. Hearing that, they were all very happy because that was what they had been waiting for. Gesai said that their mission was to end the prolonged war that made the people suffer and build a peaceful country by eliminating the rebellious warlords who intended to take over this country. The next morning the long-awaited day arrived where they were asked to choose their respective partners for the final test that they had to pass before carrying out the mission. Because Azumi and Nachi were the strongest among them, their friends let them both pair up. And how surprised they were when Gesai ordered them to fight with their partners until one of them died. Yes, they had to kill the partner they had chosen so that later only 5 people would be left. They looked so shocked, but there was no other choice, because if they didn't do it, they would be the ones who would be killed by their own teacher. Then, and here Nachi preferred to give in to Azumi and gave his lucky charm to Azumi. Those who were left were Amagi, Hyuga, Uchiha, Azumi and Nagara, and the mission began. On the way, Hyuga felt very guilty for killing his best friend, but Amagi convinced him that if they succeeded in carrying out this mission, then their friend's death would not be in vain. They arrived at a village where they had to witness the massacre of villagers by the bandits. And the master did not allow them to help the villagers and focus on carrying out the mission. Gesai said that killing hundreds of bandits would not change this country. They could only watch the massacre take place. They continued their journey to an old building. Here they met Gesai's student who was a ninja who was a messenger for Gesai. His name was Nagato. The message brought by Nagato from the Tenkai priest was none other than for Gesai to immediately kill the 3 rebels, namely Nagamasa Asano, Kiyomasa Kato, and Sanada Masayuki. In another place, several people were seen fishing. Yes, he was Nagamasa Asano. Not long after Azumi approached. Then, they also managed to kill one of the rebel leaders from the Asano clan. Although the Asano clan hid Nagasama's death, the news still reached Kiyomasa's ears and he was sure that these killers would definitely target him next. What Kiyomasa suspected was true. When on the way, Azumi and his friends attacked Kiyomasa's group. They had to fight the combined forces of Kiyomasa's troops and the ninjas. They managed to kill Kiyomasa even though Amagi was hit by a ninja weapon. However, it turned out that the Kiyomasa they killed was a fake Kiyomasa who had been planned by his followers. During dinner, the teacher asked if anyone had been hit by a ninja weapon. Amagi, who did not want to worry the teacher and his friends, was forced to hide it. Meanwhile, outside, a spy sent by Kanbei named Saru was watching them. Kanbei also ordered Saru to hire assassins. The Sajiki brothers and Nagato found out about the plan. During the day, when Azumi and his friends were walking around the market, they were attracted to a traveling show where Hyuga met a dancing girl named Yae, while Azumi was more interested in the robe worn by Yae. Meanwhile, in another place, the Sakiji brothers' hitmen who were looking for Azumi and her friends met Yae's group who were going to move to another market for a show. They slaughtered the group and only left the women including Yae. Azumi and her friends came to the rescue and a fight broke out between them. Apparently the Sajiki brothers were nothing compared to Azumi and her friends. Moving to another place, precisely a prison in Shinkawa Saru to free an assassin named Bijamaru Magami on Kanbei's orders. Saru offers freedom to Bijamaru as long as he is willing to kill Azumi and her friends. But Bijamaru said, "If I'm out of prison it means many people will die." Yeah. Bijamaru is a psychopath who loves to kill and his hobby is seeing people dying. The next day, Hyuga Nagara and Azumi met Gesai and told him that the one they killed yesterday was a fake Kiyomasa. When they arrived at the hut, Nagara was shocked to see Amagi dying from being poisoned by a ninja weapon. Gesai was sure that Amagi could not be saved, then ordered them to leave immediately and leave Amagi, but Azumi could not bear it. There was a dispute between the teacher and the student that made Gesai and Uchiha leave. Because he did not want to be a burden, Amagi decided to commit suicide. After burying Amagi, Hyuga said goodbye to Azumi to take Yae to the main street. On the way, they both met Saru and Bijamaru. A fight between Hyuga and Bijamaru took place. However, Hyuga was unable to fight Bijamaru's speed until his arm was cut very deeply. Then, and here we see how psychopathic Bijamaru is, who is very happy to see Hyuga dying. However, Saru ended Hyuga's life because he did not like Bijamaru's behavior, which was very cruel. Azumi, who was waiting for Hyuga, suddenly had a bad feeling. After catching up he found Hyuga dead. After burying Hyuga next to Amagi's tomb, Yae advised Azumi to abandon her intention to take revenge, because revenge will only give birth to new revenge and will never end. At Kanbei's residence, Saru realized the presence of enemy spies, Nagato. There was a fight between these ninjas which caused Nagato to be injured, but he managed to escape. Nagato immediately met Gasei and told him about Kiyomasa's plan to go to Gamo by ship. He also gave Nagara explosives, then left them injured. Back to Azumi where Yae dressed Ayumi to be a feminine woman and stop killing. Yae hoped that Azumi would live her life as a woman in general, but when they were fast asleep suddenly the bandits came who wanted to rape them. And with no other choice Azumi's killer instinct came out and immediately killed the bandits. Azumi apologized to Yae because she couldn't avoid killing, no matter how hard he tried to avoid it. In the end, the killer was his way of life. Azumi chose to complete his mission and gave the amulet given by Amagi to Yae, while Yae gave her robe to Azumi. At Kiyomasa's hideout, Gesai with Uchiha and Nagara infiltrated to kill Kiyomasa, but it turned out that their presence had been awaited. There was no other choice but to fight. They had to fight the combined forces of Kiyomasa and the bandits paid by Kanbei, which numbered hundreds of people. Gesai, who was shot, tried to break into Kiyomasa's room. But Kanbei was already there. With a badly injured condition, Gesai was unable to fight Kanbei, but Kanbei did not immediately kill Gesai and instead made Gesai to lure his remaining students. Meanwhile, Uchiha, who was also seriously injured, was asked by Gesai to escape so that he could complete the mission later, but Uchiha preferred to fight to the death. After Gesai was tied to a pole, Kanbei then went with Kiyomasa to Gamo and handed the rest over to Saru, Bijumaru and the bandits. Suddenly Azumi came. This is where Azumi's speed in fighting is seen. Even hundreds of armed men were not able to injure Azumi. However, chaos occurred when the samurai shot blindly and killed the bandits. Eventually they killed each other. Bijumaru, who saw this, was even happier and even joined in slaughtering anyone in front of him. While Azumi, who was hiding, met Nagara, who turned out to be still alive. Nagara then handed the explosives to Azumi, while he himself entered the cannon room where Saru was. Then Azumi continued to finish off the bandits and samurai, as well as the bloodthirsty Bijumaru, who was very happy to slaughter people until only the two of them were left. Azumi looked evenly matched against Bijumaru. And here finally Bijumaru found an equal opponent. He said this was the first time he had fought someone strong. After several moves, Bijumaru was injured for the first time by Azumi. It began to shock Bijumaru. Finally he felt the pain of being wounded by a sword. Then, amazingly, Azumi's speed was not even realized by Bijumaru, who had slashed his neck until
Bijumaru pun tewas.
Azumi approached Gasai's teacher, but his life could not be saved anymore. And after burying his teacher, Azumi chased after Kiyomasa. Kiyomasa, who felt safe now, laughed happily, but suddenly, with just one slash, Kiyomasa died. At the end of the film, Nagara is seen coming out of the ruins and witnessing the bodies strewn about. Not long after that, Azumi comes. Here they agree to continue the mission to finish off the last rebel, Masayuki Sanada. The end.